rock and roll. All
Let's
right.
do it. Well,
All right. I'm
wonderful.
in.
Well,
I'm in.
you're in. I think other people are. I think everybody's. Oh yeah, they coming in.
Yeah,
Hello,
there,
everyone.
there are people here.
We're doing it. We doing the thing. And Smike's always here, always lurking. That sounds about right. So we'll see him
As
in the
long as
background.
Mike is nearby to help us to bail us out of this, I think we'll be completely okay. He's Mike, the guardian angel. I'm cool with that.
Oh, I call him that. Shout out
Yeah,
Smike for facilitating
always
all
Mike.
this. Ah,
All
well,
right, yeah,
well,
let's get cooking.
let's do it. As people are trickling in, feel free to go ahead and pop into the chat. Feel free to add in your practice area where you're watching from. And then my personal favorite is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? That is what I really want to know in the chat. Eddie, what
Which
do
is,
you
I
think?
mean, there's only one answer about this. So you have to remember that, yes, Die Hard is watched during Christmas time. I completely accept that. Oh, Stacy, it is not
Yes,
cool.
yes.
But it came out in July, and there are no Christmas themes here. So I think that's the area where I struggle with. So I'm a hard no. It is watched during Christmas time, but it is totally not a Christmas movie. That's just
Mm.
me.
What do you think of the fact that I've actually never seen Die Hard?
I think that's more of an insult than anything that even wow, Caitlin, yes it is. It takes place during Christmas, but there's no theme there. There's no like epiphany, like when Elf falls in love with his girlfriend or Kevin gets to hug his mom. Like it doesn't none of that like comes back. So I don't know. I see no Christmas theme. But Harry Potter also takes place during Christmas too, and people don't think that's a
Oh,
Christmas movie. That's
says
just
who?
me. I don't know.
Says you. I think it could
Says
be.
me. I guess that is. All right, Stacey, I still like you, no worries, and Caitlin too. I know I'm in the minority on this one, but it's cool.
I'll go yes, just to agree with him and disagree with Eddie. So that'll be my
Sounds
vote.
about right.
Whenever I
Sounds
watch
about
it,
right.
now's the season for me to watch it. So I will do that. But as you are coming in, feel free to let us know where you're watching from. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina at
Mhm.
our HQ. So feel free to let us know where you are viewing from. And thank y'all for taking some time to chat with us as we predict the future. I'm so excited for some of the predictions. If they come to fruition, we may be very wrong about them. So a year from now, we should revisit this and see how close we were. Maybe that'll be
Yeah,
next
that'll be
year's.
fun. Yeah, the 2026. Where did Jana and Eddie actually predict the future or not? But I mean,
Mm.
I'm confident a lot of these. Some of these things are actually kind of happening now, so I'm kind of excited. But yeah, you,
I'm excited.
I'm ready when you are.
Let me go ahead and get the screen sharing then, and we will dive right in. And I know that we typically do get this question. Let's see. Is it sharing? Eddie, are you able to see
It
it?
is. I see it. Yeah, we're
Top
live.
five legal marketing predictions. Amazing. Um,
Affirmative.
love that. So we'll kind of dive in here and see how well we predicted the future. But because we always do get asked, we will record this. So it is being recorded. If you have to hop off early, we will have the recording for you. Or if you want to share with a friend. So no
Right
worries there.
on.
If you have questions along the way, please feel free to throw them in the chat. Mike, I'll let you kind of help us man that. Wonderful. So
We ready
diving
for
in,
prediction number one?
prediction
All
one.
right. So here's the thing. So OpenAI is currently handling about 2 billion searches a day. It's still the little kid. It's still the little kid on the block. It has not taken down Google. Google is still at least, and I'm saying at least, probably closer to 15, but it definitely handles a minimum of about 13 billion searches a day. The prediction that we're going to make is by the end of 2026, OpenAI is going to reach about 6.5 billion. And if you major in philosophy like I did and you can't do math, that's about half. And the question you're going to ask is why do you think we're going to get that big of a result that quickly? And the answer comes down to the fact that OpenAI got to 1 billion 5.5 times faster than Google did. And Google is the Amazon of the search world. And that was at the 1 billion mark. That happened, by the way, at the end of last summer. Now we're already at 2 billion. So at this pace, we're looking at 6.5 at least. Now, the thing is, the action that we need to take here and what we need to focus on is we have to capitalize on how many eyeballs are actually on OpenAI right now, and you need to be found on OpenAI. So that really comes down to your content. And like when you craft content, whether it's blogs, videos, social media, in any facet, we want to use questions that your clients are actually asking you in consultations or intake calls. Like these questions. They come to you rapid fire several times a week. You get tired of answering them. But the point is those are the questions that are out there. And when you answer them, I want you to write like short factual answers. Even keep it to like one clear question per page or per section. And the reason I'm going to tell you this is because that format is actually going to help the AI systems easily identify and even cite your content as a trusted source. Now, remember when we talked about the words content and citing as a trusted source, because that is going to come up in the future as well. The other big word that's coming a lot, that's coming out a lot in terms of being found on OpenAI is the word schema. That's something on the back end, but it's also in the way that you write, which I just went over. But schema is the thing that's going to tell these AI tools exactly what your content means, and not necessarily even what it says, which is kind of strange to think about, but it does work. And if between the way we're answering these questions and the schema on the back end, it is going to increase your odds of your website being cited in these AI generated answers. So focus on marking up your FAQs, your service descriptions, your local details, because in reality, any sort of mismatched business info immediately is going to weaken your credibility. To an average person, probably not, definitely, but at the same time, it is going to weaken you in the look of how OpenAI is looking for you. So keep your firm's information identical across your website, your Google My Business profile, and any sort of legal directory you're into. It's like your phone number's got to be the same, your address has got to be the same, the name of your firm, which actually generally I have seen changes from site to site. So this sort of level of consistency is definitely going to help Google and AI platforms in general just confirm that legitimacy and even like accuracy of your location or where you physically are located. So these are the first three things on predictions and actions. And as we keep going forward on this is the format we're going to follow. When I was in the Marines, like we were never allowed to read the thing off directly. So I will not do that here. And I don't think Jana will either, but we will talk about these things. And again, if you want the recording later, we'll be able to send them to you. But that is my first set of predictions, prediction number one, in what you should do in order to capitalize on this prediction.
I
What do you
like it.
think, Jana?
Think it was, yeah, this is a great one. I do think that we've been preaching the consistency across your name, address, phone, and
Yep.
I'm alluding to a future one, practice areas as well, being a huge reason as to why you do or don't get cited when your
Yep.
potential clients are searching. So I know that one's tried and true. But no, the speed with which it's been growing is insane. So I think it's definitely worth taking note and seeing what next year. I'm curious. I'm already curious what our end of 2026 predictions for 27 will look like, knowing how
Yeah.
quickly things are changing.
I already want to talk about like search engines, but I know we're getting into that. That's going to happen soon.
What a great segue. Well
Whoa.
done. It's like we planned this. So yes, and the second prediction is going to be around new AI search engines. So some of y'all may have already heard of Atlas, which is ChatGPT's really foray into being its own search engine. And I think that the place this is going to really show itself is that instead of users being sent to external pages, AI is going to generate those answers within the search interface itself. So it's going to be less clicks, so much easier to get that information in most cases. And I know with Atlas specifically, there's even a sidebar that you can open that will summarize content and it will prepare, answers for you. You can look at data and analyze it too. So within whatever website you're on, that little sidebar can pop up there to help you out as you're going through. You can also, I think, expect like fewer direct visits from Google or I guess other. I always default to Google. I guess Bing and Yahoo are still out there. Good old Ask Jeeves. I guess they're still around, but Google, for all intents and purposes, I think is going to be the one that we default to. But I think that you'll be able to see those answers summarized. Some people call it zero click, I think is a term I've
Yeah.
heard before.
Yeah. It's
Where
been flying. You're right.
yeah. And I also think that when it comes to what you're searching, the queries will be more like a consultative
Yeah.
consultative as opposed to just like this keyword string. So I think that's going to be a big one. We'll talk a little bit more about specific content and kind of how to structure it. I know we alluded to the schema a little bit already, but I also think that PageRank is going to not tell the full story any longer. That's what I'm excited about. I know a lot of times when you're looking at Google Analytics, you want to see certain things about how your pages are ranking. But I think that AI-driven search is going to reward clarity and trust and not necessarily keyword density as much.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my prediction. Again, we'll see how all of these end up pairing out. But the other cool thing that it does is it'll actually track when your content is cited or referenced when AI generated answers come up. So being able to know when your site or your content is being referenced by other users, I think if that is truly the case and we have some really good metrics for that, will be the really exciting one. Like how cool would it be for us to get some sort of a notification, say whenever someone is searching for family law, Charlotte, North Carolina, and your firm gets recommended, like how insane will that be to be able to get that notification, especially if it's instant. So those are some of my predictions. And then when it comes to the action steps for these, oh, got too
Go
excited.
back.
On the first one, of course, I won't read it off for you, but I do think that you need to focus more on those citations than your page rank, as we have been previously. I think analytics to see where the users to your website are coming from is going to be really helpful too. Are they coming from direct links from other websites, or is it coming straight from these AI platforms? So being able to see that, I'm so excited for. One other thing that I think you can do for that second bullet point there, in the sake of conversational questions, is to continue to write for how people are asking questions and not how algorithms read or used to read them at least. And that's
Yeah.
something we preached for years. Answer the questions people have as they have them. Um, yeah, absolutely. And then structure those so that people have this clear response. I think a lot of times being vague and maybe not being quite as forthright about the specifics in which you can help someone makes a lot of sense. But I think being specific about how you can at least answer the common questions people have will be so important. And keep your answers direct, human. Don't do the keyword saturation. That has been on its way out, but I think we're officially going to start slamming the door on keyword saturation in your content come 2026.
Yeah,
What do you think,
yeah,
Eddie? What else do you have?
yeah. I definitely don't want
Yeah.
to steal too much from the next couple here, but I mean, I just remember too now that Atlas is surfacing as a search engine, and that more people have already gravitated. I mean, it's a natural inclination or a natural manifestation of what people are already doing. They're going to OpenAI to ask questions. They're either looking for there's two ways they're going to do it. One, can you find me a lawyer in Charlotte that does family law? Or the next thing I'm going to say is, if I'm getting divorced, what are the first couple of things I need to be doing? Now, people are going to find those in OpenAI. They're going to find the answer, or they're going to find a specific source. And if your content is written in the way that we're describing, not only will you show up as a cited reference, but OpenAI is actually going to reinforce as to why you're the person they should hire based on whatever their search criteria is. So the other thing too is, remember, as we talked about that sort of gravitational shift in the search going from like 2 billion to 6.5, those numbers have to come from somewhere. I mean, it's almost as a zero sum game. So as we see one go up, one will go down. So as we start planning in the future, and we'll start talking about this in the next slide, start taking a look at it. Don't put all your money into one section or the other, because one is going to start rising here really soon. And the other thing too is, I'm from Boston. I talk really, really fast. So
And
if
I've got a
any,
twang.
you got a twang. So if at any point in time you have a question, something you say we're saying just doesn't resonate, or you have a question, want to push back at even something we're saying, we're happy to have a discussion. Just drop that in the chat. This is a live back and forth here. So anything that you have during that surfaces at any point in time, bring it up. And we did have a series of questions that came up before this even started, which we'll answer later. But other than that, I'm looking forward to this. Jana, I'm ready for
Yeah.
prediction numero trace.
Ooh, okay. Well, I started to allude to it. So here we go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
talk
yeah. You
about
spoiled it. You spoiled
ha,
it, but it's all right.
I'm,
And I even started spoiling it too a little bit in terms of like starting your budgeting.
mm,
But the really thing that, and we talked about like how like people are measuring. I used to be on the first page, or on the eighth result, or I'm one of the first few organic results below the
mm,
sponsor result. So we really start looking at a shift here. And like, instead of the sponsored links on a results page, and again, that's just when you go to Google and you're like, I need a lawyer in a family law attorney in Charlotte, North Carolina. You see sponsored, 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 and then the organic results. Now, instead of seeing the sponsored links and results page, even on Google, now start looking as to whether or not those paid placements are going to start appearing on AI generated answers themselves. So start looking as to whether or not Atlas or OpenAI starts embedding answers. Like, this is the monetization of AI. Facebook did it, Google did it. You always heard, if you ever watch shows, they talk about pre-profit. And you're looking at a point where, because the product is so valuable, they are going to start offering ad placements. Now, as users continue to interact more with these AI results, you are going to see a traditional pay-per-click ads will lose visibility and value because people are going to start investing their money elsewhere. If PPC goes down, you could very well likely see a big increase in people placing their ads on Atlas or OpenAI's platform directly. Which one that happens with remains to be seen. But these search platforms are really going to begin offering paid version of AI tools that people are going to use. You might see different variations of AI tools specifically, some that provide deeper and more accurate answers, especially for people that are looking for professional or commercial usage out of them. So you might see a separation in terms of what AI search is going to look like. It won't necessarily, because before we were just going to OpenAI. Everyone was going to OpenAI. Now with the soft launch of Atlas, we're now seeing different platforms, and you can expect AI to almost divert itself into different areas. So really, do expect paid placement options within these AI tools. I mean, it's going to be similar to Google Ads, but the slight difference here is that the answers that AI is going to give you are going to be very conversational. It's not going to be the straight ding, ding, ding. It could be a very conversational answer cited by 3 different law firms. So what I'm telling you to do is start setting aside your budget now, so your firm can start testing these ad formats early when they do roll out. Because like the early adopters in Google, the early adopters in any sort of open AI platform or any platform where you do get a chance to advertise or put your spot in, put your name in, they're going to pay less. I mean, the money is going to be significantly lower for impressions and clicks before the competition increases and before the price increases. Um, the other thing I want you to do too is, because I haven't necessarily seen it yet, I do want you to continue to monitor which AI platforms, whether it's OpenAI, Anthropic, Atlas, are the first ones to begin offering advertisements or business listing integrations.
Mm.
And so the other thing too, and again, we there's other ways of getting on there other than the direct payment method, which is the exact what Google does. So invest your time still, and we'll go this at the end of the slide too, at the end of the presentation, into content that AI can trust, cite, and recommend to the users. Because long-term visibility is always going to come from the answers that are being, from anything that's being referenced in the answers, and not always from buying short-term clicks. I mean, that is a possibility, but continue to do what you're doing in terms of content, everything we've touched on so far. Because if we can build credibility with these sort of database blogs, the client FAQs, the video FAQs, and very clear service explanations, you're also going to start showing up here. AI platforms may even introduce verification programs. You might see like the Google Guaranteed or the verified business Google badges, business badges that you see on Google. You might see those badges start popping up on OpenAI. And the verification is simply going to determine whether your firm appears on these AI generated results or whether it's going to show up in these local recommendations. So keep your credentials, your bar memberships. I mean, we've all seen the badges on the bottom of your websites. Keep the data easily verifiable online, so you're ready when the verification features do launch. And being among the first of the verified law firms, that could actually help you capture like more visibility in these AI integrated search environments. And so it's kind of a crazy time in seeing like OpenAI as to what it is and what it's going to become, especially in terms of monetization and getting in early. So that's my prediction about monetization of AI.
I think those are great. I'm especially excited about the verification process because I think that it just
Yeah.
has so much more, authority. And we've seen on social media platforms to be introducing this, or even considering this being introduced in the AI realm is amazing. And I
Yeah.
do think that you're right. The early adopters will have the most success. I've gotten a ton of feedback that the early adopters of LSA, specifically within the legal
Hmm.
industry, had so much success. But if you were late to jump on that bandwagon, the results were just not it. If any of y'all have had experience with that based on when you started implementing any
Hmm.
pay-per-click or LSA ads, I'd be curious to know what your experience was. Did you hop on, when it was first coming out and had a lot of great experiences with it? A lot of great leads come in, or has that not been the case whenever you tried them, if you did? So yeah, feel free. Let us know in the comments too. How is everything tracking so far? How does this, is the format working? Let us know if everything seems to be running smoothly so far, or if there's anything we'd like us to break down further,
We
we are
love the number one.
happy
So
to.
if this is all tracking with you and it
There you
makes
go.
sense, pop a one in the chat and we'll just rock and roll. Looks good so far to me. Thanks, Mikey.
Any
But
other
yeah,
number, we'll
yeah,
we'll,
and
we'll
remember
go
all
from
those
there.
people in 2018 that did SEO and were struggling with it. How many of them wish they could go back in time to 2008 when things were really hopping in terms of SEO, the landscape was different. You have a chance to go back in time and make right on this situation you haven't been able to do before. So it's exciting, and you should be excited.
Absolutely. So then we'll go ahead and truck into prediction number 4, all around. Well, actually, before I even say the title, every single time this word comes up in our office, it's always a debate. Is it niche or is it niche? We stuck with the one that we're going with, but put in the chat if you think that it rhymes with witch or quiche. That
Quiche. And
ish.
I definitely had to
Ish.
verify that I knew how to spell quiche right beforehand, which I did, but I definitely saw it beforehand.
We always have a kind of an ongoing, and I've defaulted saying like
Ah,
niche
quiche.
niche.
Always quick. Oh,
Quiche. We get a
quiche.
quiche.
How do you
Okay,
spell
okay.
quiche? You nailed it, Mike.
You did. Hey, you
Oh,
did.
oh, and
Wish.
Melissa.
Oh,
So yeah, so
wish. She's like
which,
wish.
which? I
Niche.
think we said which. So it's like either
I did.
niche or niche, like your knee or
Wish.
your which niche.
I
Quiche.
like
Yeah, I mean
it.
it's definitely niche. I mean we looked it up. I mean it's 100% niche, but I mean I still want to say niching. Quiche, Denise, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it
niching does
niching,
sound
niching just doesn't sound
niche.
right to me. It doesn't roll off the tongue in the same way. All
Yeah,
right,
that's
so I guess
Fanny.
we definitely have consensus on Die Hard being a Christmas movie. We definitely have consensus on niche, which is, I mean, I agree with 1 out of 2. Not bad.
Not bad at all. But when it comes to, we're gonna go with niching down. I don't need, I've confused myself now. But when it comes to narrowing your focus just a bit, this is something that is not new specifically to AI. I think this is something that has been a thought process for a while. Do you want to, the old adage, jack of all trades, master of none. I think there are certain, cases where it makes sense to offer multiple practice areas. But if there's a certain client type, case type that you really do want to focus on, when it comes to AI search, it's going to be even more important to really have those couple of main focuses as opposed to trying to rank or get ranked higher or cited more often when it comes to being a general practice firm. So now that we've at least discussed how to that part and how we say it, I think that consistent signals are going to be a big key. They're going to be, I'll go and pull up the action steps. They're going to be huge for making sure that you're being recommended. And part of this involves a little bit of looking back at some of the areas that you may have had content about in the past. This has been one that we found lately, is that clients are really looking to get recommended by AI platforms for a certain area they practice in, but they're getting calls about things that are not things they do, but it's from people who are finding them via ChatGPT or other platforms. And the reason for that sometimes has been that they have a ton of content from years and years ago talking about
Yep.
practice areas that they've completely scrubbed. And so that's been a big one. And once, as we all know, I'm sure, once content hits the internet, it's tough to get rid of. You really have to do some combing. So that's been one that we've seen is going back through old blog content, old video content, old areas of your website and practice area pages that are still there. Maybe they're hidden, but they're still being indexed. Eddie, you look like you might have a thought, or maybe you're just
No, not
excited. You're
yet.
so on
I have
board.
so many thoughts, but no, you're rocking and rolling. I love it, Jens.
Exactly. So, well, thank you. Appreciate it. So, I think making sure that everything is updated for the areas that you really want to practice in is going to be a really big one. That includes content on your website, but also
Yep.
the directory listings, all of your social media profiles, and making sure they reflect that consistency and the focus practice areas and messaging that you really want to build a client base off of. So,
Mhm.
everything needs to really have a good you need to have a good, I guess, plan and strategy for specifically what you want to put out in the future. And yeah, I think this one's a little bit easier when it comes to action steps. Repetition has been key. That's one thing that we found. So having 1 or 2 articles about your specific practice area, especially if it's a new one, simply not going to be enough. It's got to be competitive, or to be competitive, it has to be repetitive. There you go.
Love
And
it.
so,
I mean, Melissa told me Trading Places is a Christmas movie, and that I couldn't agree more on that. I mean, if you haven't seen Trading Places, go out and do that. But I mean, recently, I bring this up. It's not only necessarily your content. This is one other area. I recently met with somebody, and I looked at their website, and I was trying to count how many inner pages they had. I lost count around 400. This
I
is a
didn't know you could
jet.
count that high. That's incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I made it. I used fingers. But I mean, so I counted over 400 inner pages. And when I met with them, I said, what was your idea here? Because you went on a contact us page, and I see almost 208 different options. And he's like, well, I'm trying to put a really wide blanket out there so I can get found. And I said, okay, that is a strategy. I get that. But when you land on the site itself, that's okay. Now I'm just confused and scared. But the other element too is if that is your strategy for what you think Google is looking for, which I would push back on that as well. It's not necessarily going. It's not going to work on OpenAI. I mean, they want to see you as a trusted, confident source of X, and when you're trying to cast a really wide net to be found on Google, like that sort of action is going to hurt you in the OpenAI search. So it's not only like taking down your content, but really stripping down your website is who do I want to work with? One of our old adages, and we've always said this, is not even more clients, it's better clients. We want you to work with the type of client you want to work with. And if you're casting a wide net, that's gonna hinder that. So really take a look at which pages are actually representation of A, profit, and B, how many of these things do you really want to work with? Because it's not only hurting you in terms of getting the right clients, it's also going to hurt you in how you get found in OpenAI. That's all my addition there on number 4.
Well, the other one that I want to, make sure I mention is that I know it can be there can be a level of hesitation around
Yeah.
not doing certain areas of practice that you have been. You don't necessarily want to close the door in someone's face who is willing to use you for a service that you have done. So I think that you
Yep.
can still accept those. They just don't have to be what is primarily touted with all of your content. So I don't think you have to totally slam that door shut,
Nope.
because we know a lot of the lawyers that we work with have a phenomenal word of mouth network. You may
Yep.
still get those referrals. You are welcome to still take those on. And so it can be a little bit of a going into the shallow end. You can wade into it just a bit. You don't have to completely start, hanging up the phone on people who are calling about areas that
No.
you're maybe looking to wean off of. So
No,
that'd
close
be
the door if
my
you want to close it. Yeah, if you
if you
don't,
want to.
it's only it's like if these are the clients I don't want. It should not be on your website. And I say that is it's silly, but I've seen it. It's like, well, I'm just casting a wider net. I don't really want these people. Uh, I mean, I get it, but yeah. Close the door if you really want to close it. It's going to benefit you for closing it.
Well, with that, we'll move into our final prediction, at least for now, for anchoring master. Oh, yep. Sorry, we missed a bullet point, but we talked over all the
You got over
specifics
that.
there. But yeah, let's go into our final
This is
prediction for next year.
again, if you've seen any of Danny's previous webinars on how to get found on OpenAI, you're going to hear this term about pricing. And immediately right off the bat, I mean, we've always addressed it, and I apologize for being redundant here, but a lot of times when Danny says that or has put that out there, people's like, well, I don't necessarily either know that what my because the variables involved in the case are so vast, I necessarily can't give a straight price, or I don't charge flat rates, or I charge hourly rates, which fantastic, but I don't know how long the case is going to last. Just say that like that. That's what we're saying. But you are going to see a very big point on pricing and value transparency. So, like these AI platforms and search engines are going to start favoring firms that share these clear, structured pricing information online. And if you can even give a range, that is fantastic. That's better than nothing, and it's still going to benefit you. So these AI tools are not only going to analyze the physical cost of what you're charging, but they're going to start looking for the sort of value that the clients are receiving for that cost, which is why the transparency behind this is so key. So how does that shape? Like, how can they pull that information? Well, yeah, it's going to come from a lot of it's your reviews, and we'll get in later about review blitzes we offer. But your reviews not only should be asking them, you should almost be kind of catering as to what the review should say. Reviews that mention fairness, clarity, or the value they received for the services they received is going to enhance AI's understanding of what your firm's reputation actually is. So there's nothing, and I encourage you to add starting rates, flat fees, estimated ranges directly onto your site. And if you don't believe us, go look at Spotlight Branding and Marketing and Branding's website, because we've started doing this. Up until recently, we didn't have this, but we believe in this so much that we included it on there, and it has worked for us. And even partial transparency is still better than none. The other thing too is you should use the appropriate schema markup. So not only are these things on there, that AI can actually read and categorize the details you're putting out correctly. So accurate, structured pricing data is going to increase your chances of being cited or recommended by these AI results. It's that simple. So like really start looking at your pricing as a visibility tool, not just a marketing choice, which it is, but that's not only what it is. Because AI systems interpret it as a trust signal. And again, if you've seen any sort of our webinars before, we're very big into trust signals, and that sort of value proposition is gonna relay itself into a trust signal. And transparency is definitely going to go beyond listing numbers, but go in addition to your pricing, explain what your clients are going to receive for the fee. And that is another way of enhancing what your value is. Use very plain language. I mean, I go deliberately out of my way to make sure I'm using very plain language to describe what's included, the type of person or the type of attorney that's going to handle the work, what the outcomes they can expect. I know you can't guarantee results, and I'm not asking you to say that, but I say we're going to work toward X. We're going to work toward a fair outcome for you and your spouse. We are going to work toward building a revocable trust. What is the outcome? And and again, I'm guilty of this too, but avoid marketing jargon. I mean, AI models and readers are going to reward clarity, and they're definitely going to start penalizing these sort of vague claims. I mean, the marketers or any sort of person that can't specifically give a direct result, that's going to hurt you. But you can explain what they can receive in expectations for the price they're paying. So clear expectations, clear your explanations up. The easiest going to be for AI to connect your firm with the quality, reliability, and fairness that your clients are going to want. You can even include links to detailed service pages where clients can read about the process, the timeline, the next steps. This is what an intake does. This is where we start gathering documentation. So this sort of structure that I'm talking about now is just simply going to make your site easier to read for both humans, which is always going to be important, and AI to understand. It's a twofer. It's going to we if we can the fact we can speak to both of them and still get results is incredible. And each section that you provide on your website should have clear, scannable, and valuable data. If you can, I mean, over time, like this layout is going to help AI recognize the patterns in your pricing, your service descriptions, and ultimately, it's going to improve your firm's visibility and anyone that's looking for a value-based option or value-based search. And that's really what we kind of come back to in terms of like this pricing and value proposition, and that's incredibly important.
It is. It's been really interesting to see for years and years, we were touting the importance of writing to your potential clients, to your
Mm,
audience, and not to the Google algorithms for SEO purposes. And GEO, I think, has been kind of bringing us back into that original mindset of writing for humans, writing in a way that people ask questions, talk about these answers and topics as if you were talking to another human. And so I'm so glad to see that we've kind of come back to where I think content needs to be. And I'm a big fan of the comparisons. I think that's been a really interesting one
yeah,
because AI is doing that for you in some regard already, especially if you're
always. Oh yeah.
asking for recommendation. So having that already on your website, some level of that comparison analysis, I think is going to be a huge game changer.
I
And
mean, you can. I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
well, I was going to say, I know sometimes people are even hesitant around pricing, and one that
Mm,
I've heard is that the pricing page. While I do appreciate the transparency, and I think that it would be great to have it be visible by your
hmm
ideal clients, if there is something where you are hesitant to have that, outward facing, potentially it's a site or a page on your website that is hidden in a way where it's still live, but there's no direct link to get there. So the AI platforms can still cite it, still
Yep.
index it, but it doesn't have to be, straight on your homepage right under the header or anything
Yeah.
like that. So I think there are some strategic ways to make sure you're incorporating this too.
And whereas Google has never released this straight algorithm as to how people get found on Google, you can actually go on Google and actually like what are they looking for, and they'll give they don't so their algorithm, but they will give what they're generally looking for. And even Google now, of the 20 points they're looking for, I think like 18 of them have to do with content,
Mm,
authoritative content. Who is posting? Who is authoring this content? How consistently is it going out? How old is it? So, I
mm,
mean, the fact that content now is finding its home in Google versus trying to find the hack, which is a word I don't like, the shortcut of backlinks, and which is it's still workable. That's a piece, but you're not going to win out with keywords. It's a piece of the whole, but no one's going to win out with keywords, and it made a lot of the blogs very unreadable. But the fact now that we're putting out authoritative quality content that's coming from a reliable source, and not only is it getting impact for humans when they read it, it's also being recognized on whether or not you're being found on an AI generated result on Google or on OpenAI. So I mean, it's win-win for everybody. It's great to be a content marketer.
it is. It is. I like it. Well, we actually next have a slide that is dedicated to things that are already true, things that we
Yep.
know are happening currently, but are still really important, and we did not want to leave them out. So whereas the last few were potentially up in the air on how it's going to transpire in 2026, these are some that we know already are going to be fruitful and things to focus on. So I'm going to bring up all of these, and the first one, good old positive reviews and testimonials continue to be the strongest trust signals, both for your clients and for AI platforms. So we're huge on that. Eddie, I know you alluded to the reviews earlier.
Yep.
And so to his point, in those reviews, asking your clients to mention the value that you give them, and just that you have fair and competitive pricing, and just alluding to that in any way with the reviews will be helpful. I know sometimes even just getting positive reviews in general can be its own struggle.
Yeah.
So then the next ask of having specifics included can be a tough one, but it I think is going to help tremendously.
Absolutely.
Um, so, yeah, so in that same line, reputation management too. I know that when it comes to any reviews that may be a little bit less than ideal, as quick as you can be on top of, getting those removed if needed, or even responding to them. I think the responses to reviews oftentimes can be a lot more impactful than the review itself. At least from what I've seen, I've been impressed with
Yeah.
some responses that I've seen before. Um, NAP consistency. So we've added the kind of an extra P. So we name, address, phone, practice area. So
Pricing.
pricing.
Oh,
Oh, pricing and practice area. We got a
pricing.
lot of
Yeah.
P's.
Yeah. A lot
Nap,
of
pa, pa,
P's.
pa.
Nap with three P's.
Nap with three P's. So yeah, so the phone, the pricing, and your practice areas, making sure that all of that content is consistent. Um, and then you know that we love education. We're here to answer questions. We want to be a resource to y'all, but we also think whenever it comes to marketing to your audience, giving them information to let them know that they're in the right place, as opposed to it being a sales pitch. Hire me. This is why I'm great. This is why I should be your lawyer, as
Yep.
opposed to just giving them information that you know is going to be valuable for them, and ultimately nurture them and lead them to choosing you. So let's see, video. Oh, we love video. We'll probably turn this into a
Who
video and use it
doesn't?
on social, right,
You're
Smike?
darn right
Smike
we
over
will.
there.
This is absolutely happening. Mike, make sure we know we're using this on social media later.
And I think it's short and sweet. People, the attention spans continue to dwindle. How long before Vine has a resurgence where 6 seconds is all you get? That's all you need.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
we're going to come full circle to it. I miss
Nice
Vine.
job,
So,
Mike.
oh, is he popping off in the
He
chat?
said, "What is a social media?" Our social media
Oh, sorry.
manager or media manager is asked what social media is. That's fantastic.
And then the big one, well, site speed, mobile response. There we go. I knew there was one. Site speed, I think this is crucial, especially with a ton of content on there. People do not have the patience to wait for a site to load slowly to give them their answer. They are immediately popping back out, going back to the next recommendation, either from Google or from AI, to see who else is out there that may have their answers a lot more expeditiously. And of course, when it comes to the results that truly matter, a bunch of clicks, a bunch of leads, those are cool. What matters is clients.
Yep.
Consultation calls are also great ways to get there, and kind of progress that journey. But the ultimate goal that I think we're all looking for is number of clients and quality of clients, which we will always come back to, because referrals remain just the strongest and most
Yeah.
reliable source of new business. And I do not predict that to change next year or even this decade.
No, when I have strategy calls with people, I remember it's like, listen, if I ask you to spend 20 or $30,000 on marketing next quarter, and I'm not asking anyone to do that, Well, maybe it could, but not us. I said in turn spend $20,000 on marketing. I guarantee you at the end of the day, you're still going to get about 65% of your business on referrals. Now, marketing plays a key role in referrals, but a lot of times we start talking about these predictions or anything, these sort of marketing trends. It is important to stay rooted and grounded in the fact that referrals and referral marketing, the things like with the it's simple as an e-newsletter that goes out once a month, is going to increase your referrals. I mean, so we got to stay focused on what's really going to put bread on the table. And a lot of these things are going to come down to very core marketing principles that are still tried and true. Whether you put out valuable educational content through social media, through your e-newsletter, that you're staying engaged with people, that when you meet someone at a networking event, that you have them a source or a medium that they can pull into, that you can nurture that relationship until the time they're ready to book a consultation. So whereas all these things that we're talking about today is I refer to as icing, it's not necessarily the cake. These are things that are going to definitely supplement like the core principles. And if you ever met with us, the things when we start talking about ads or SEO or GEO, we're not talking about that as like the initial step. We're making sure that you have a website and making sure that you have blogs and videos and social media, that you have something that's going to really complement your network marketing. And why is that? Because most of your business is going to come from referrals. And if you do it correctly, you can get even more referrals than you're currently getting. Don't make the mistake of saying, well, I get referrals, so I guess let's move on from that. No, let's get as more referrals first because it's low hanging fruit and it's relatively inexpensive to do so. So all these metrics, like whether or not I'm appearing on AI, whether or not I'm appearing on Google, am I being cited in a Google source? Yeah, this is fantastic, but don't lose sight on the fact of what really matters. Like how many leads are you getting a month? How many of these leads turn into actual consultations? How many of those consultations are turning into paid clients? At the end of the day, and those are the numbers that are most important, along with am I able to increase my rates? Am I getting more
Mm.
referrals based on because of the marketing I'm doing? And B, I mean, of the people that are calling, am I getting a higher win rate because they've already come in primed by engaging with the sort of marketing that I've had and they know who I am, either by referrals or through my paid ads. They have a better source idea of who I am. And I'm ready. All I need now is to sign the bottom line. So stay focused on what really matters. The things that we talked about today do matter, but I said they're icing. And I said, never forget the cake.
I never forget the cake.
No, you don't.
Never. No, I don't. Very true. Well, I think you summed that up well. I have nothing to add to that. I think you crushed that.
Ooh,
Oh, no algorithm would exactly. There you go. No algorithm will replace word of mouth. But let's
never.
talk a little bit about AI, though, Eddie.
Our free AI starter bundle. So, I mean, I mean, a lot of people, they have two really requests is A, they definitely want to be found on AI. And even more so, they want to be found on AI right now. So a lot of times we talk about like the slow build or like we start building and marketing over the X amount of months. I said, it's going to take time, but we put this together for people that are really excited, that really want to be found on OpenAI, that really want to begin right now. And so what we're offering here is we'll give you a free AI starter bundle. And this is going to come with any of our packages. And these, as long as you're back and forth with us and willing to cooperate, we can have this done in about 60 days or less. And what this is going to come with is going to come with 5 custom blogs written by a copywriter after they interview and understand who you are, who your ideal client is, what your practices are, and the type of people you want to attract and where you want to grow. Of those 5 custom blogs, one of which is going to be about pricing and value. So again, if you look back at prediction number 4, we talked about pricing and value. Well, this is why we do this. Our blog will do it for you. We'll explain the pricing and value element to this. The other thing too is the 8 video FAQs. Also, things we've mentioned in our predictions. We'll send a videographer straight to your office. Wherever you are in any part of the country, we'll send the videographer to you. And we'll create 8 videos. So again, these are things that we can use as source material for you to be found. We'll also conduct a social audit slash NAP update. We're going to look through your reviews and we're going to do the schema install and audit. Now, these are all things that are generally designed for you to be found in OpenAI. So if you're interested in all, this is something we will give away. It's $32.50, but we will comp this for you if you do buy one of our marketing packages.
And if you are interested, and that will come back to questions, you're welcome to scan this QR code, or our media manager, who's probably looking up what social media is right now, might even have a link you
He's
can drop
doing it.
into
He
the
did it.
chat.
Yep.
Oh
Mike's
my
on it.
gosh.
He's alive and awake. I love it.
I love it. So feel free to scan that or click the link in the chat if you would like to talk a little bit more about the audit or specifics of what we do. We'll keep that link in the chat, but I'll go here to see if we have any questions. Now that I think we have officially, wrapped up the slide portion. Let us
We
know
have
what kinds
wrapped
of.
up the slide portion. Yeah, this
Okay.
is it. So if you have
All
any
right.
questions, now's the time to do it. We'll give it a few minutes here, but we can talk about trading places. Yeah. I mean, did you see the Jonas Brothers Christmas movie yet?
I have it, but I have heard. I can't believe I haven't. Also
It's a shock. I mean, Will Ferrell's in it. It's amazing.
not.
Oh, my question before still stands. What is social media? Mike, you and I are going to
Or
talk a little later, and you might not have a job after this, but that's okay. We'll figure that
he
out
could be
at a certain
referring
night.
to his question on how to spell quiche.
But he
Mike has
spelled
asked.
quiche
He's
in
asked a couple
a,
good ones so far. But if
in a
anyone
sheer burst of irony. How do I spell the word I'm spelling? No
you
worries.
nailed it. And if you do think of some after, I know my best
Yep.
questions tend to appear as soon as I have finished a conversation. So feel free to email us at, we have info@spotlightbranding.com. You could also send it to Edward at or Jana at. Complaints if you thought this webinar was awful to Eddie, and compliments if you thought it was wonderful to Jana. So that can
Affirmative.
be the
Always.
delineation there. Um, yes, we're happy to answer any of those if you have them either now or after the fact. And if anyone would like the recording, go ahead and let us know there. We can send that out. We'll probably reach out to everyone just to see if you would like it. But if anyone knows for sure they would like us to go ahead and send it to you, throw a little note in the chat there and we'll get it out to you.
No worries. And this has been fun, Jana.
This
And
has been fun.
yes, Kelly May, we will
Kelly,
give you the recording. I promise. It is on the
gotcha.
way. Mike's going to upload it and we'll send it to you. You'll have it. You're very welcome, Melissa. No worries. Well, you guys have all been really fun. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you in
Yes,
2026.
I know. We'll see how many predictions come true. We'll see
Rock
then.
on.
Thanks, everybody. It was a
Bye,
pleasure.
guys.